Hi, my name is Synchronize, and today I was hoping to discuss what I believe is the cause of the modern depression issue. Um, and probably most people's issues in general. Uh, what is going to happen is you as a person are going to think about your problems. And I see this so often in people, and it's tragic. You can just tell once you talk to people and you know this concept, you can just tell. It's so sad how simple of a problem it is, but no one cares. Um, so let's say you have a problem. Let's think of a problem. Let's just hear, why am I depressed? You probably just have that thought, and then you don't go any further than that. You just go, why am I depressed? Because I'm depressed. And then you'll move on with your day. What a great mindset. So, what I've come to do myself is I love writing stuff down, my thoughts down. Because if you write your thoughts down, they're right there. You can see what you just said if you write it down. If you write down, why am I depressed? Well, it's right there in your eyes. Now you're visually stimulated. Why am I depressed? Well, now that you've wrote it down and you're looking at it, you'll notice you have one mouth, but you have two eyeballs. I think there's more importance to your eyeballs than your mouth and what you think, because thinking is more tied to verbal, while logic is more tied to writing it down, I'd say. So now that you have it wrote down, now you have to. Now that you've wrote it down, now you have to answer it. Your brain is going to make you answer it, and it will be creative. It'll start to think, why am I depressed? And it'll start to go, and it will passively dig back into your past and resurface stuff for you. To It wants to work with you. It's like it's not you, but it is you. But it wants to help you. It's like your heart. It beats. It's still there. It's part of you. Your brain is part of you. It's still there. It wants to help you, and it's the most powerful thing in the universe besides probably the internet at this point. But yeah, and it will think for you. It That's what your brain does. It thinks. So it will think questions. Maybe you've is it childhood trauma? Maybe. Is that what it is? Have you got unresolved childhood trauma? Are you currently your current situation? Is your current situation causing you to be depressed? Is it both? It's not so black and white that it's only one option. It can be multiple compounding factors. Um, what are some other ones? Maybe relationships. Um, is it friendships? Maybe a partner. Um, I feel like people quite often get caught up in the mental illness thing. Because if you like, I really hate mental illnesses, like just labeling people like that, because labeling someone as autistic, let's say, it instantly intrinsically means their opinion's worth less in reality. Like, it's that simple. Someone with a mental illness, you don't have to take them as seriously, do you? How do we know that it's just not people who don't understand what they're saying and then labeling them as mentally ill just because they don't understand? Like, what the fuck is wrong with this? Like, maybe it's just they don't understand the process properly and they're doing it wrong because of how they were taught to do it. And they like their thought process might be like that. Everyone thinks differently, but you can write differently. Like, that's another one. Do you use a lot of weak words? Weak words are a big one. You'd be surprised. Because it shows that you're unconfident. And if you're saying weak words, you're unconfident as a person in general. I'm just going to say it. Another one you'll find is, do you make a lot of just statements? Do you ask questions or do you make statements? If you're making statements, you're a horrible person. I'm going to say it now. It's that simple. If you ever only make statements, you are not a good person. You think you're God. That's as simple as it. Everything you take is truth. Like, if you make statements and not ask questions, there's something wrong. So, stuff like that. Are you insecure? Like, it's really easy. Insecurity is a really easy one to tell. Because you have to be flawless. If you are insecure as a person, you will naturally try to fix every flaw, but in the process, you just look like a giant douchebag usually. Like, you can be flawless if you want, but usually insecure people, like, make boastfulness about it, rather than just being down to earth, like, hello, hi. It's just, I just use these words because I like them. They're kind of cool. It's not like that. And then insecure people will assume every other person is also insecure, so that everything that they'll like attack you for no reason, and that's most of people. Especially I love Twitter because there's so many insecure people on there, and you learn so much about our world because insecure people accidentally tell everything about themselves, so you can kind of like learn from them. I highly suggest you don't do it for malicious reasons, obviously, because it's kind of fucked up. Just do it to learn about people, to help them. You better be helping them as well. Like, if you interact with these people, you cannot stop until you have either resolved that conversation or they've blocked you. There's no in between. That's how you be a good person. Yeah, commitment. We'll go with commitment. Uh, it's an interesting one. This how they will commit to you is, are they going to commit to protect you, or are they like, if these people will like, they're no one's a bad person really. Like, these people, if they see you being bullied in a way that they don't like, they will protect you, especially if they are your friend. They will protect you because they're just like that. And it's everyone's like that. Like, no one wants to see anyone be hurt. um like, they'll commit to defending you, but they will never commit to being a friend. Being there for you and that kind of thing. They're very argumentative usually as well. um they'll see every conversation or even just a debate instantly as an argument, not a debate. Like, just a cool conversation between two people about like completely rationally. They'll see that as an argument. I don't know why. It's just, I see that all the time. Stop thinking that if you think that. It's not an argument. If you think it's an argument, it's an innately negative word. Again, an argument is a weak word in that context, at least. If I say I have an argument that I'm bringing to a debate, then yes, that is the correct way to use an argument. An argument in place of a debate, though, is like saying that those two people are just spitting and hating and hurling shit at each other. Like, yeah, it can get heated at times. Don't get me wrong, but that's healthy still. Don't get involved. Like, let those people regulate their own conversation. If you're getting involved, you're gonna cause more issues, and you're like, hell is paved with good intentions. Let's leave it at that. Um, they will. They'll try to like manipulate you a lot as well, in subtle ways. They'll use manipulative language. We'll see. If you use manipulative language, that is bad, because when people talk to each other, you don't actually talk to each other, if you know what I mean. What happens is, basically, our universe is like this. Hi, universe that we live in, the thing that we like to tie to the Big Bang and all that, what we see around us, yeah? Uh, Universal. universe. And then there's like Earth, and then there's like you, a person, and you experience your own universe. No one else will be able to experience the universe your way. Only you'll get to experience it that way, you know? So that's like your own little universe inside a universe. It's a subspace in mathematics is the correct term. It's you have a space and a subspace inside a space where everything is true. The subspace is completely true. Everything inside the universe is truth, but it's missing a lot. That's known as confirmation bias, an egocentric bias, where you believe your universe is that above that of the actual universe, usually. But, yeah. So you have your universe and your own universe. When you talk to another person, your eyesight will cut out and your hearing will increase and your thought process will increase. You'll notice that. It's because that's just how human interaction is. It makes sense. You don't need visual stimulation when you're talking to someone, because if you're talking to someone, if you're like gonna get, like, say we're primal again, if there's animals nearby, you don't need as much visual stimulation because you have 4 ears. You'll be able to hear a predator nearby, and you'll be able to think. So the more you talk to people, the more you actually think. So when you talk to someone, you won't talk to them. You'll just hear what they say, and then you'll interpret it in this way that you'll talk to someone. You'll talk to that little voice in your head, and that will be how you understand what the other person's existence is. It talks to you, but it's you at the same time. It's like a third communication. It mixes your hearing and your thoughts together to create this artificial version of the person you're talking to. And you need to never, ever, ever insert your own opinion into that. Because if you insert your own opinion into that, you're going to start disrupting this very harmonious balance between your hearing and your thoughts. It's if you start inserting your ego, like if you really, really put your ego into that, it's going to be bad. And that's when you get manipulative language. So you try to convince yourself that they are on your side, let's say, in a debate. So you have to use manipulative language to do that. And that's not a good thing, because it means you don't have a good argument or a good debate. You don't know who you're talking to. Even Sun Tzu said, know your opponent. And you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Know your opponent and yourself, sorry. You need not fear the result of 100 battles. Know your... well, we'll just leave it at that for now. It's know your opponent and yourself. You need not fear the result of 100 battles. Do not know your opponent, but know yourself. Every time you get a victory, you will suffer a defeat. And then, if you don't know your opponent and you don't know yourself, you will suffer a defeat every time. You will just lose. Like, it was a war tactic, but it's the same way with this conscious battle you're having, because it's the same. Even Mao Zedong was like, politics is war without bloodshed, but war is politics with bloodshed, and it's the same. So you're going to have this entity in front of you that you're going to talk to, and if you know exactly, say you've talked to this or you've researched this topic a lot, you will be able to just understand your opponent immediately. Every word they say, you'll be able to interpret perfectly. You'll know exactly what they're talking about. And if you know yourself, well, then you already know what your place is on the topic. And if it's the opposite, say you don't know your opponent, say it's a stranger you just met, so you're just saying hi, and they want to talk about some, like, diggers, let's say. They want to talk about their construction site working, where they've been they recently got a license to dig. Obviously, if you don't know that topic and you don't at all, you're gonna lose if you try to fight it. So don't just shut up and ask questions. Just if you don't know it, oh, that's interesting. What kind of licenses are there, or that kind of thing, just to learn. And then you are now better on that topic, and that person probably likes you a lot more. Yeah, because you were interested in them. Everyone likes to have someone interested in them. So if you're using manipulative language, that usually means you're in confirmation bias. Is to, like, when you ask, why am I depressed? If you're using the manipulative language, you're going to manipulate yourself into not doing anything. In the Bible, this was known as sloth. I'm sure many of you have heard that term before. It just means to be self-hating, to hate yourself. It's boredom is the best way to put it. If you're bored, you're not in a good state of mind. Don't be bored. Boredom isn't like bad. It's not innately bad. Well, it is, but you can manipulate boredom into giving you ideas to do as well, so that way you have more ideas, because boredom is your brain trying to help you motivate yourself, because self-hatred is the best form of motivation if you can use it as guilt. Because if you're like, oh yeah, I probably should do that, you're right, my brain, and then you now guilty to do that, and then if you use guilt to motivate yourself, you'll feel really good about it. But if you think of something and it's like, that's a cool idea, and then you never do it, your brain's gonna your brain wants you to do it, because it's like, wow, I was interested in that, so your brain's gonna never stop pestering you to do it, ever, ever, and it will keep pestering you to do it, so you have to do it. So the more of these things you do that your brain is told you to do years or months or days ago, or whenever it told you to do it, or it's on the back of your mind at all times. For me, it's mathematics. I need to do more math, but I do it slowly still, so I do it. But yeah. So if I now use that guilt that I just said that to go and do math, then it would be please my brain, obviously, and it would reward me. It'd make me feel good. Make me. I'm not depressed right now, but if I was depressed over not doing mathematics, then it would be like, oh, I finally feel so good about not doing it. It's like, what is that? Prussian art piece. Prussian man climbing the mountain. Is that it? Whatever it is. This one, yeah. This. So it's like, that is artistic form of what I'm describing, where it's like you guilt yourself to finally conquer the world, to go out there and do what you were thinking of doing, that you were told yourself you were going to do, but don't ever do. So that's what this art piece is, like a visual representation of this. It's called romance art, where all of the romance art pieces are very much about man versus the world. And they're all very much in favor of the world being very awe-inspiring, and the special word they use is sublime. So like, it draws back to this topic here, where it's like the universe is, we're just a puzzle piece of that full universe. So you should probably listen to others to get a more clear piece of that universe that we're living in. So that's kind of how you defeat your depression. You kind of have to just go out there and stop being so. You need to really fix your vocabulary, probably. You probably still speak like a toddler. Like, I know that's harsh, but I can't say enough about. Let's see, let me go back on my Twitter here and see if I can't find a quick conversation I had. Like, what is this? Wow, she is literally me. Like, what? There's no woman like this. This is something you made up, and then you think all women are like this. Like, or at least a lot of women are like this, you'll think. Like, I never understand that mindset. Ever. It's just weak language. It's all weak words and trying to avoid thinking. A lot of people, I believe, have asked so many questions that it's just radio static to them now. Like all these thoughts that they've had, it's just like that. When you turn on one of those old static box TVs, it's like shh, that's all I can think their mind is. And like, if you've asked like, so you wanted to do tennis. Let's say you wanted to do tennis. Well, have you done it yet? No, probably not. What's another one? You want to lose weight. Have you done it yet? Probably not. You fat motherfucker. Got this big beer belly or whatever. Like, all of these things that you need to do, they're tasks that you've told yourself you're going to do, and your brain wants you to do them. You need to really do that, and you need to understand your morals as well around them. I know I'm saying it all like it's so easy, but just think about it. That's all I can say. Is if it's confusing, that's because you don't understand it. You're gonna have to figure it out. If it's certain parts you're not getting, I'm trying to make it as simple as I can, but comment anything I can help. Do something, but I mean, yeah, just do something. If you subscribed yet, haha. I doubt anyone's gonna find that one funny. So my I often put B's and P's up as I need to fix that, but I don't know if I can. I think that's just dyslexia. See? But that's mentally ill. Oh no. I don't know. It's not an issue I need to fix right now. You have to then rank them as well, because people often like think they have to do these all simultaneously. Like, no, you don't. Pick and choose. Like these two synergize together really well. These two tasks. So do both of them together. Because if you're gonna lose weight, that way you don't want to hit the gym. But if you want to do a sport, maybe mix them together. Yeah, you'll be like fat as fuck when you go in, or be skinny. Maybe you want to put on some muscle. Yeah, it's gonna suck at first, but it's gonna get better, and you're gonna meet people, and you're gonna make more friends, and you're gonna learn how to do it more optimally by hearing from people that are better than you. If I saw someone that was motivated to do a sport, and I really was into that sport, and they were overweight and they were hoping to also lose weight, that is like motivational to me. I want to see them do well as a person that's not them. Like, mix these tasks together so that they work together and whatnot. And you don't have to like expect to lose all this weight. You can do like other things on the side to lose weight if you want. You don't have to just rely on tennis, but mix them together still. Like, ideas are what will make your depression go away. You need to think. You need to enjoy life. Your brain wants to help you do that, but you fight your brain because you think you're better than your brain. These thoughts that are coming to you are just yourself, so therefore you can pass them, like dismiss them, but they're not your thoughts, they're your brain. It's like what everyone used to call God back in the day. It was this your brain giving you thoughts, and it's just trying to help you. And everyone believes that that was God. So just listen to it. Just shut up and listen to it. Tell us what it has to say. If it's stupid, then debate it. It will debate you back. And you can actually get really good at debating from that. It's quite funny. Yeah, your brain is very, very much still like a part of you and wants to help you, and you need to understand that. And it's the more rational approach, in my opinion. And yeah, I'd say that's all good from there. But yeah, just listen to your ideas. If they're stupid or way too far down the line, just dismiss them for now. take them with a grain of salt. Like, let's say it says you want to be tennis. Do you want to be the world's best tennis player? That's probably what would be the first thing that will come to mind. Yeah, I want to be the world's best tennis player. Yeah, that's a little bit of a pipe dream right now, and probably not gonna happen. So just let's humble your ego a little bit with that. Yeah, you're gonna lose weight? Yeah, of course. You're gonna think you're gonna do it. It's the world's fastest pace ever because you're better than everyone. No, you're not. And that's gonna, these are all these little like speed bumps that are gonna demotivate you, that you need to get over your ego. Your ego is good for late game. It's not good for early game, because like your ego is gonna, it wants to get you, it wants to stop you from killing yourself, basically. That's what your ego is. It's really just a suicide prevention tactic to keep you alive, to keep you motivated, to even in these dark times, your ego will be there to help you. But don't let your ego ever get the better of you. Your ego is like Satan, or your chaos, if you will. You see, you have like yin and yang in China, which is order versus chaos, but they both exist inside of each other. Like, yeah, that kind of topic where your brain is like order and your ego is chaos. Your Lucifer versus your God and whatnot. They're all the same interpretation. But whether there is a God, who cares? All that matters is that you should probably treat your brain like one, because it makes your life so much easier if you actually shut up and listen to it. But most people can't differentiate the thoughts, because it's a very hard process to differentiate the thought of what your brain is telling you versus what you are telling yourself. Because you all exist in this thing. You have your ego that tries to boost you to fight your brain. But you need to understand that your ego is also there to boost your confidence to fight your brain. Because it is good to fight your brain if you're questioning your brain. Because your brain might come up with this idea like, why do you want to be the world's best tennis player? Well, you need to ask the why, sorry. So it says, let's be the world's best tennis player. Well, why? That's a little bit of a long shot. Like, there's your ego in there, because your ego knows where you are. Your ego is present in both, if you will. The more present your ego is in you, the more present it is in your brain. So you should probably keep your ego in check. It is good to have an ego, but you should probably turn it more into a dignity than an ego, I would say. Because a dignity means that you're actually going to follow through on what you say to you. It's your ego, but you care about the people and your actions more than your words. Most people don't have a dignity these days. It's just their ego. So, and most people, because they've been bossing their brain around for so long, they think they can boss everyone else around. And they don't listen to other people because they assume, because they know what their brain is going to say, right? Because their brain is only telling them these same thoughts to go and do them. And they are just saying, well, I don't have to do that. And it hurts them in the process, because their brain that's probably the earliest stages of dementia, I would say, is when your brain starts to question itself and it you aren't doing what it's telling you, so it starts to kill your body. But that's just my thought process on all of these topics. But yeah, I probably just overloaded your brain by this point. Maybe not, but hey, that's the topic I wanted to talk about today. Is mainly what the modern depression issue really is in layman's terms, rather than all these scientific studies that need to be devoid of all emotion and devoid of understanding of humans. It's only about the actual universe. It's quite depressing, I guess, what modern science has become, but yeah. Anyways, let's see ya. Thanks for watching, and if you don't understand anything, please leave a comment, and yeah, thanks for watching.